Gabriel opened his eyes, begging the memories to stop, though it was to no avail. The castle had been engulfed in flames when he arrived, and screams had filled the night air. The castle was under attack. Everything after that happened so quickly. He'd run in to find his home aflame, pirates and guards in bloody battle. He'd been captured, attacked by a group of men and bound, forced to watch as these pirates looted and pillaged through his father's old belongings. In amongst all the chaos, he had not forgotten about his king, but was helpless. There was nothing he could do as the enemy ruined his home and his family. The dreaded call went up among the guards. "The king is dead! King Joel is dead!" Gabriel had screamed in anguish, not caring what threats his captors had thrown at him. Nothing could quite quell the anguish that had torn a gaping hole in his heart. Finally, the pirates had knocked him unconscious, and he had awoken aboard their ship. Amongst his father's belongings, they had found an old map. Unfortunately, he was one of the few people who could read his father's writings. So here he was now, heartbroken, hands tied, trying to find an imaginary treasure. Yelling broke through his reflections and pulled him to the present. The pirates he was begrudgingly with were up to their usual bickering and fighting. Hardly a day went by when Captain Steeleye didn't threaten someone with a pistol or sword to the throat. Miraculously, despite his dangerous companions, Gabriel had felt calm since arriving on the island. Perhaps that was because of shock, but something told him it was deeper than that. It had to be Elohim. The only time he felt peace from his thoughts and the situation he was in was when he prayed. A man with rotten teeth and an equally bad attitude walked past and kicked Gabriel off the rock and into the mud. He laughed, as if that was the only entertainment he had experienced in a while. The bickering had turned into outright yelling now, drawing Gabriel's full attention. Captain Steeleye drew his gun and aimed it at several men, which was his go-to form of discipline, it seemed. This time, however, several men drew their own guns and aimed back. The captain's eyes grew dark with fury. Before anyone could react, he shot the first man who talked back, then drew his sword and stabbed the man next to him. Shouts rang out over the thunder and screams erupted as everyone began to attack their own neighbor. Suddenly afraid, Gabriel rolled behind a large rock and kept his head down. This was bad. Even for this group, somehow this night felt different. Something dark and forbidding seemed to weigh in the air. A movement out of the corner of his eye caught his attention. His eyes scanned the forest, as shots rang out and screams erupted amidst the storm's fury. He had just about decided he had been mistaken when he locked eyes with the most beautiful brown eyes he had ever seen. 30 feet away, a young woman was partially hidden behind a palm tree. Only her dazzling eyes and delicate nose were visible. Those eyes. He had thought he had glimpsed the same brown eyes the day prior, but only for a moment. He had convinced himself it was just his imagination. Now he hoped and prayed he wasn't imagining things. Her lips tilted into a charming smile. In that moment, his pain and grief melted a little, making room for something new, something warm and inviting. Suddenly, her face grew fearful, and she ran toward him amidst the gunfire. What had caused her fearless jump into the battlefield? As she neared, a noise caught his attention near the water. He looked over, and a scream caught in his throat. So much blood. So many teeth.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.